All right, so now we're gonna be talking about testosterone. Of course, we call hormone replacement treatment, and the hormones we're talking about testosterone, estradiol, not estrogen, estradiol, progesterone, and the thyroid. Those are the biggest hormones that we work with over here. But we're gonna talk about our basic experience with testosterone because man, testosterone is some good stuff.
Good
So
stuff and very underdiagnosed
yes,
of being a problem for both male and female patients, I
yeah.
think.
So share your experience about your experience, whether it's a male or female testosterone replacement.
Well, I mean, not that we don't see both patients, but I would say obviously I primarily see a lot of female patients that are coming in for hormone evaluations, saying, I'm feeling tired, I'm feeling sluggish, I can't lose weight the way that I used to. My libido is gone, and my husband's getting frustrated about that, or hot flashes. So, but these symptoms, I think a big misconception is that those symptoms only happen when you're like menopausal, like in your 50s, in your 60s. But I mean, we have patients that are as young as their early 30s, late 20s that are experiencing these symptoms, not because they're going through menopause yet, but because they have hormone dysfunction and hormone sub optimization. And I think that that's a big population that's getting just kind of brushed off by a lot of other providers that are not willing to dive in to really look at that, or maybe just don't have the understanding of it. With us doing actual training in hormones, I know it totally changed the way that I look at
Mm-hmm.
some of this
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And levels that I used to think were, oh, totally normal for a female patient. Now I'm like, oh my gosh, like you're zombie level
That's
with
right.
it.
That's right.
So I think that's been the biggest thing that's been really cool to see is to go ahead and be able to do these evaluations with these women, and to go ahead and say like, yes, like you're not crazy, there is something going on with you, there's something going on in your body that's not functioning 100%. And when we can get those levels optimized, especially the testosterone, because everybody forgets testosterone in women do make testosterone too, it is important, different levels than men, but it is still very, very important, especially for metabolism and things like that. So with that, when we can get those women leveled out, like they all come back and they're like, oh my gosh, like I didn't even know that all of XYZ symptoms were what I was experiencing this whole time until they're gone. And they've never realized that they could feel this good. And I don't want to make it sound like it's a magic bullet for everything. Like it's when it's appropriate, but is appropriate a lot of the time, and then
Mm-hmm.
instead of putting these other band-aid therapies on,
It
like,
feels magical
yeah,
anyway.
it does. Well, and you can speak to that
Magical.
in magical magical hormones. But to a certain extent it is when you can get to root cause that way, to say
Mm-hmm.
this is truly what's happening in your body, this is truly what's going wrong, let's fix it, rather than just, oh, let's slap you together and wait till you're menopausal and have no estrogen and are dry as the Sahara Desert and miserable, and then I'll treat you. Like,
Exactly.
why with it?
Yeah.
So that, I would say that's again the majority, because like I said, I majority see the female patients, but and you majority see the male patients.
Well,
So
I've seen both. I've seen
yeah,
both
you see
because
both. We both do
we
both.
started program when you're
When I
pregnant
was on maternity leave.
with maternity leave, so I've seen both, and that made me even appreciate more about what women go through. Uh, being a girl dad, that's very important. But and we have more ladies on testosterone than men,
Mm-hmm.
and so much happy. I would say probably the biggest symptoms fatigue,
Mm-hmm.
not be able to build muscles when they wake up, and there's a lot of them they do some intensive workouts and consistency. So to be able to see the results is important. Just overall stamina. The mood has been one thing they say the mood is better. Pretty much they feel leveled. Don't have the ups and downs in terms of feel more irritable, anxious, and then more like crash, like lack of motivation, lack of joy, not say super depressed, but that's been too. And then just to have energy to run with the kids, it can be 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, pick up the kids from school. For those moms out there, but just even the working class after kids go to college, but just after the work, I want to go to the gym, I want to go for a hike. You still have the energy to go. Oh, even it's a weekend, you want to sit down and chill with the hubby and your spouse, Netflix and chill. You still have energy for that. So that helps. We call Netflix and chill, but in medical we call libido. So there's an energy for that too. That has also been better. You gotta keep the marriage together. You gotta keep the people together. So, but to say that's been mostly for ladies, they appreciate that. And of course, guys, probably the best experience for me for the guys is be able to see how I help them mentally with the mental health. Guys can have anxiety and depression, and to see just repressing testosterone consistently on the good levels, somebody can even slowly even kind of like take off the antidepressants and anti-anxiety because was an issue with testosterone. I mean, weight loss with the guys by repressing testosterone is for guys who are serious, replacing testosterone and then go and work out. Man, I've seen some number dropping. I'm like, yeah, within the 6 months to a year, it's not the same guy anymore. So those kind of things, of course, we can get down deeper into biologically how it helps your testosterone supply, the estradiol helps your heart and all this stuff, and cholesterol and all this stuff. But my guys who are the PDs and fire guys, just physical jobs, be able to get up in the morning, go work out. Oh, it's just like have that recovery. It's just like recovery is much better when it comes to testosterone. But I think the goal, what we do the best though, is how we monitor our people.
Yeah, it's not just like go take meds and then bye. Like see you in a year.
We monitor our people to make sure no side effects, like anything else you put in your body, make sure no side effects, make sure the right levels, whether 3 months or 6 months, whichever route you have. And we have options. And some people may do injections, pellets, creams, orals, and all this stuff. So it's like we've been able to be trained to do all of them, but appreciation that we have for that testosterone hormone itself is amazing. Talk a little bit about estradiol and progesterone, because I don't have many of those. You can say much about that.
If you're doing supplementation on a female patient, you might.
Yeah, I'm saying like but kind of like kick back,
kick it back to the ovary side over here.
Back to my partner in crime.
No, so for our patients that need estradiol and progesterone management, I'd say that's where we're getting more into maybe those perimenopausal, so that time around menopause patients. So that's probably more like in your 30s to 40s. But again, not that it can't be younger, but I would say that's the majority age is in that 30s to then through menopause time. Exactly. Because as time goes on, your estradiol, that active estrogen level drops. And that's actually a very good protective estrogen for a lot of other body processes. So it doesn't just do like avoidance of hot flashes and keeping vaginal lubrication and, keeping your weight in check and things like that. But it is actually protective for your brain, protective for your heart, protective for your nerves, protective against bone loss, things like that. So as we start to see those levels drop and we're getting closer and closer to menopause, it's important to go ahead and keep those levels sustained actually, so that way we can avoid, not to say we can 100% prevent, but we can slow the progression or try to do as many protective factors as we can to avoid people progressing to these really big, like major things like cardiovascular disease and osteoporosis, where they're losing bone loss because of the lack of estrogen and things like that. So that estrogen replacement becomes very, very important for, again, that neurological protection. There's even been some things that are coming out more about estrogen being protective against things like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's, to slow the progression of those because of the lack of estrogen that accelerates the nerve dysfunction there. So,
but there's one topic about people will say estrogen, but we're also talking about estradiol.
Right.
So
and there's
we
a difference.
want to make sure we show that there's a three type of estrogen, and estradiol is one of them. So we prescribe estradiol. Not the same as the birth control.
Right. Yeah.
Just want to
And
make
that's
sure.
and that's where a lot of that's where I
Yeah.
think there's a lot of misconception about hormone replacement therapy with estrogen, or again, like I said, because we're actually doing estradiol, but a lot of the old research data that was very negative about hormone replacement therapy was looking at synthetic estrogen, not estradiol. It's not the same. So the risk, it's the risk profiles are different, and that's something that we talk about during our hormone consults with our patients.
And I would say majority of our people, and when I say people, I mean patients. I don't like to use the word patient. I say people. Majority of our people, they do plant-based hormones replacement. Um, if sometimes become an issue with the cost and stuff like that, they can go back and do synthetic from the pharmacy. But majority of our people, they do decide to do plant-based. So, I mean, less side effects, they feel better. Um, we are part of the program, so I'm on testosterone pellets for almost a year now.
Over a year I've been pelleting you.
This one caused me hair loss. No, it doesn't. No, it does not cause hair loss.
That's all natural hair loss.
That's just my.
That's all natural hair loss.
Choice to cut my
hair loss by choice.
Yes. So, but yeah, so it feels great. I don't need a coffee in the morning. I'm get going, go. So it's amazing. But we cover about all these talks during our appointments. We discuss about, and the goal is to make sure you feel better. It's not just about chasing number. You feel better, but the numbers help us to make sure you stay safe. Anything you put in your body, you have to be monitored. We are not drive-through providers. That's why we have nice seats over here so we can sit and talk. If we need to go, we do an exam, we do a physical exam. But this place is where we spend the time the most. We like to talk. And those are kind of talks we talk about hormones, how you feel mentally, physically, and just make the whole holistic care. So there you go. So if
hormones in a nutshell.
If you have those symptoms, like we talked about, how about we review the symptoms again, so people will be aware of what kind of symptoms they're looking for. So we're talking about fatigue, hard time
losing weight, hard time building muscle mass,
irritable. We talk about vaginal dryness, decreased sexual drive and sexual stamina, two different things. We talk about sleep,
brain foggy, fuzziness.
Oh, that's been huge.
Oh, yeah.
Brain fog and focus. Those are big ones too. And then
hair thinning, hair loss.
Hair thinning. But we'll get to thyroid on the next segment. That's gonna be on thyroid. That's what I like that one. And we talk about just be able to keep leveled as far as day to day, kind of like up and down, anxiety, irritable, kind of like motivation to do stuff, and just energy to last all day till maybe 8 or 9, especially on those nice weekend like Labor Day weekend. Take vacation, go to San Diego. You want to walk down by the beach, watch the sunset. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to go sleep at 7 o'clock in San Diego. We don't have
not the Msowoya household.
We don't have ocean in here, so when you go to the ocean, you enjoy it. So testosterone will keep you stay until 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock on your vacation. There you go. So if you have any questions about hormones, please call our front office, and they're more than happy. By the way, hormone replacement therapy program is not under concierge care.
Yeah, that's separate from our concierge program.
That one does not have a fee of $100.
We just run it through insurance.
We don't want you in the other program, but if it's something that you only want to focus on hormones only, I just want to check my hormones. I don't need the whole primary care thing. Call our front office. They'll get you scheduled. We answer all the questions in the rooms and do labs here. Not so no quest here. But we are way better. Lobby and the chairs. There you go.